Welcome back, tech friends. Today we're on a budget. Today we're also going to go all AMD. So if you're thinking about dipping them tippity toes in the world of PC gaming, then this could be right up your street, because this is going to come out at a very similar cost to the latest gen consoles, but you get all the benefits of what a PC has to offer. So if you enjoy this content, smash that like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and sit back while I walk you through how to build this ultimate budget AMD build. Let's do it. So as normal, guys, CPU, RAM and NVMe plus your motherboard. Get rid of everything else, you don't need it. We're going to start off with our CPU, but before we do that, we need to open up our motherboard and take that out of the cover and place it in the most safest place possible, which is on top of the motherboard box. CPU choice is the Ryzen 5 5500, 6 cores, 12 threads, going to be amazing for 1080p gaming. Let's get it open. Next step is we can undo our retention arm and slide up our socket. All we need to do is match the triangle that's on the actual CPU with the triangle that's on the actual socket. Lower that down into place, nice and gently, and then we can return our retention arm, locking it down. That's our CPU all done. Next up is our RAM. This is our Vengeance LPX. It's two 8GB sticks at 3600 mega transfers. Be absolutely perfect for this Ryzen 5000 system. Because we've got two sticks, we can look at our key A2, B2. So we need to actually populate the grey slots. Just make sure that you've opened both. You'll have a little notch in the middle of this dim stick. It's more to the left. We just want to line that up with our RAM slot. So that's the wrong way. We can put it in this way. And then we put in one side in and then the other. Firm pressure until you hear them clicks. Our RAM, nicely installed. Let's move on to our NVMe. Onto our NVMe, and this is a Gen 3 NVMe drive, 3,500 megabytes a second, plenty fast enough for a budget gaming PC. This motherboard, being a B550, does support on its top drive, Gen 4. We opted to save a little bit of money. Let's get it installed. Installing our NVMe, place it at a 20-degree angle, push in, and then you can rest that down on the slot, and then you've got this little plastic prong that you can turn around and just lock it into position. Next up is our CPU cooler, and as you already guessed, we're going budget. The Ryzen 5 5500 come with one of these stock AMD coolers, and we're going to utilize it. The TDP of this actual CPU, no worries here whatsoever, so the stock cooler is going to be absolutely fine. First thing we need to do is we need to remove our standard brackets here, and you can do that by just removing each two screws. One thing I would say, guys, please don't throw these away, guys. If you come to change your CPU cooler at a later stage, you may find that you'll need those, because they are standard AM4 mounting for AM4. Now, as this cooler is brand new and it does have pre-applied thermal paste, we're going to be a little bit greedy. I'm just going to put a splodge more in the middle. Can't have too much thermal paste, especially a bit of MX4. We're just going to line up our 4 screws with our 4 openings here. So we just want to drop that into place like so. We can route this cable, which will basically go onto our CPU header, which is just here. We can push that on. We can figure all that out a little bit later. Get yourself a decent screwdriver, and all you've got to do is screw it in. Don't do it all the way down on one side. Just take your time and work your way around the actual cooler. And that's it, guys. NVMe, RAM, CPU and cooler all done in the space of about 5 minutes. Let's get our motherboard installed in our case. Oh, that's not heavy at all. But case that we are using, guys, is the Ions Pro Gamer KZ12V2. They get worse, these names do. Let's get it out. Let's have a quick look. Ta-da! That's not too shabby at all, guys. One thing I really like straight away is the door. Easy access, in and out, cleaning, all that good stuff. On the front, we've got our mesh panel and it's got 3 included 120mm fans. The other thing, guys, is it's got a 120mm fan installed at the back as well. So this is a fantastic little case. I think this was about £40, something like that. So 4 included RGB fans, glass tempered side panel. It's also got a PSU shroud with a little bit of a cutout, which is there. We've got no rubber grommets. We have got pre-included standoffs, which is good. Let's just have a quick look. We've got magnetic filters, which are on the top up here. We've also got 2 USB 2s, a USB 3. We've got a reset and a power switch and our microphone jack, which is there. Don't like those. We do have the bendable PCI Express covers, which are here. And we've also got, like I said, that 120mm fan at the rear. These screws are too tight. They're not going to be captive thumb screws either, but you get what you pay for. Let's just have a quick look. That's not too bad, you know, guys. It's got a little bit of weight to it, and it's got some reinforcements around the corners as well. Not going to stop no bullets, like I say all the time, but it's not too bad either. Ions KZ12V2. So not too bad at all, guys. Gives you a full indication of all the stuff it comes with, different views, orientations, how to take it, or disassembly, how to take it apart, and then where your hard drives go and all that good stuff. At the back, we can see there's a whole plethora of cables which are here. We get our little goodie bag, which is just zip tied in the back here. But in there you get a few zip ties and all the screws we're going to need. In terms of connectivity, we've got HD audio, USB. We get our normal front power connectors and our USB 3. Not a lot to actually discuss, but for 40 quid, this don't look too bad. Let's get the motherboard installed. Let's see if it just slides off. Look at that. Motherboard, guys, we are using a B550M motherboard, which means that we're not going to use all of these standoffs. And one thing that you need to be mindful of here is you need to take your IO shield out of your motherboard box and install that now. To install this, guys, dead straightforward. Just put it in, and then you just want to push it against the back of the case. We're cooking on gas now. So, dropping our motherboard nicely into position. We can lower it down. Remember, don't scratch it on the actual standoffs. For anyone that's interested in the screws that you should be using, we should be using the ones with the nice head that's going to make decent contact with the grounding pins. Just lower it down into place. Don't over tighten them, and make sure that you've got all 9 installed. And there we have it, guys. Not looking too bad at all. Next up, power supply. So power supply of choice is MSI A650BN, 650 watts, bronze rated, can't go wrong on a budget. And as you can see, guys, one of the things I really do like about this particular power supply is it does have quite a low noise fan, and that makes a massive difference in budget PSUs. The only downside is it's non-modular, so you get all of this cable mess. But seeing as this case has got plenty of room at the back, it won't be too bad. Let's get it installed. So installing the PSU, all we need to do is make sure that a fan is facing down. We can drop it in. Just be careful with it. Once you've got it in place, you can take the 4 included screws, and all we're going to do is take our screwdriver and literally screw it in from the back. What I would advise is don't tighten these screws all the way down until you've got all 4 in place. So all the cables, where the hell do they go? So we'll start off, look on the side of your power connectors. This one's for our CPU. So that one's going all the way up there and out the top. We'll connect that in a minute. Next one is our 24 pin, and that one's going through here. And again, we'll connect that one. These next 3 connectors, guys, we've got Molex and SATA power on here, which we don't actually need at this moment in time. Same for this one. And then last of all, we have our PCIe cable, and this is to power our graphics card. We'll push that through one of these bottom grommets, so we've got it there for when I install the actual graphics card. We need to make one connection for our SATA, and that is to power all of the fans, guys. So we just need to hook that on to here. And again, that can be pushed into the bottom. We'll do all the cable management after, it's not a problem. Right, in terms of the rest of the cables while we're here, we have our USB 2 and our HD audio. We can just peel them apart. We've got our HD audio that wants going through this one and our USB 2 that wants going through the bottom one down here. We then have our USB 3 and that can go just through the bottom here as well. And then we also have all of our power switch, reset switch and everything else. And that wants going through one of these bottom ones as well. Hopefully we can run all this down nicely in channels and it's not too much of a mess. First up is our USB 3. You've got a little notch and all we've got to do is line that up with our USB 3 header. Next up is our USB 2. You'll notice that we've got a blank in this top left hand corner. If you've got the USB facing upwards, it's going on to this connection here. All we've got to do is push that straight on and again, access to the back. Next cable is our HD audio. You'll notice that we've got a blank, the second one in. If you make sure that you've got your HD audio facing downwards, and then that goes in this bottom left-hand corner like that. Next one is our 24 pin. We just need to make sure it's orientated the correct way. Give yourself enough excess and then give it a nice bend. Put it into the socket, and then we were looking for a strong connection here. There you go, nicely in place. And this is our EPS power cable. Again, we just need to make sure that it's orientated the correct way. The clips are actually on the top. So give yourself enough excess, bend it around, and then plug it in. And make sure it's clicked into place. Last but not least is our HD power LEDs and our power switch. Now, they go on to our JFP1 down here. There is a little grid down here, guys. I would highly suggest you grab your motherboard manual out and have a look where these actually go. It's generally 99% the same. Failing that, get your motherboard name, type it into Google, look for a JFP1 layout. It'll give you a blown up version of where these cables need to go. On the back of the power switch, you'll see a positive and a negative indicated by a triangle. You probably can't see that because it's tiny, but all we've got to do is put that on the first two pins on the right hand side, like that. Our HD LED lights, again indicated by a triangle on the bottom. It says that the triangle goes on the left, so we can go ahead and put that one in on the bottom two. And then we also got our power LED positive and our power LED negative. They go right next to the actual power switch. And what we're going to do, we're going to leave this PCIe power cable hanging out. We're going to pull all the excess through to the back. We're going to do a little bit of cable management. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes when it's all done. So our graphics card of choice, guys, is the RX 6600. Fantastic 1080p card, still very relevant and still brilliant, paired with either a 5500 or a 3600X. Let's get it out. Let's have a look. And there we have it, guys. Mech Radeon 6600, dual fan, little pass through on the back. Don't feel like a metal shroud, but still nothing to worry about. We get 2 HDMIs and 2 display ports, and still a force to be reckoned with its 8 gigs worth of VRAM in 2024, especially if you can pick it up at a good price. And if you can't pick one up, and I wouldn't advise going out buying one brand new, get yourself on Craigslist, get yourself on eBay, look on your second-hand marketplaces for some deals. We're going to lower this into place. We need slots 2 and 3 removing. We can just open up this little catch, and then we've got to bend away slots 2. Make sure that you are careful here, guys. Lucky enough that this motherboard down here doesn't have any capacitors or transistors or anything like that, but if they did, you just want to be mega careful when you're bending these in place. It might be a good opportunity to do it before you put your motherboard in if you're scared. Graphics card, lower it down into place, firm push, wait for the click. Just like that. we can go ahead and we can connect our PCIe power cable. And now we want to go ahead and lock down the case utilizing 2 thumb screws. We can go ahead and put our cover back in place, push our excess of our PCIe cable through to the back. Might be a good opportunity to install 2 140mm fans at the top here. At the minute I've got 3 intakes one side and an exhaust at the back. These 140s will provide some really nice exhausting out the top here as well. And seeing as they've not cost anything and I've just got them sat on the shelf, let's add them in before we do a test boot. So place your fans set as an exhaust and you want the cable at the back so we can easily cable manage it. We can place the fan inside the case and then all we're going to do is feed the cable out the back, and then we can remove this magnetic filter. We'll place the fans at the back like that. All we're going to do is we're going to screw 4 screws holding them in place. On the back, really straightforward. We can then go ahead and daisy chain these. We've just got to connect the 4-pin PWMs together like so, and then all we need to do is run this one to a 4-pin PWM on our motherboard. So it's that time, guys. Monitor check. Come on. Yes. Power check. Press the power button. That's a good sign. Whee! There we go. So there we have it, guys. I've been really impressed with this little Ions. Can't remember the name. It is the KZ12V2. Plenty of room at the back. Got all the relevant cutouts for especially this build. Don't foresee any particular airflow issues, and for about 40 quid, I don't think you can go wrong. Tempered glass side panel, cut out for your actual PSU, and this don't look too bad there either. The RX 6600 going to be banging at 1080p, going to be able to play all the latest titles. That coupled with that 5500 6-core 12-threaded CPU, still going to be very capable in anything that you need to do, and ultimately together they're going to perform really well. The next step is to go ahead, update the BIOS, make sure the chipset drivers are all done, update Windows, make sure that everything is updated to make sure that you get the optimized performance that you should be getting from this particular system. So guys, I'm hoping that you've enjoyed the video. If you have, smash that like button. Don't forget to consider subscribing to the channel as well, because about 95% of you still aren't subscribed. So come and join us, and I hope you enjoyed. Have a great weekend. Take it easy.